Well, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 1st, and I just asked Daniel. I said, Daniel, what day is it today? I got to make sure that I don't get on the air live and tell you guys that it's Friday when it's Wednesday, because that could really confuse our guest this morning. I don't want to confuse our guest. Yeah, so anyways, we're excited for this morning. It's good to see everybody this morning, but too bad I can't see you. But you can see me, and I apologize for that. That I know you guys come anyways because you like to poke fun at me or laugh at me. I'm just kidding. I know you guys don't. But anyways, let's see who's first, second, and third today. And as the timer was going, some of you guys snuck in. And it looks like Jenny Williams commented first, followed by Brian Olson. Jenny and Brian are always fighting for first and second. And this week, it looks like Jenny Williams. And lastly, but not least, and my sister Danielle came in third place this morning. So anyways, good to see everybody this morning. I hope that you're having a great day. I hope that you're motivated. I hope that you're encouraged this morning and you're ready for a great day today. But before we get there, make sure you guys go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and share it out there on Facebook. And maybe you're watching this on YouTube. Maybe you're watching it live. Good to see you guys on YouTube. Or maybe you're watching this 10 years from now. I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button so you can see more of our videos and be a part of the Motivation family, because there's no greater way to start your day than with a little motivation. Do not start your day by turning on the news. That's a bad way to start your day. And unfortunately, sometimes I do that, and that gives me a grumpy start to my day, and I don't want to do that. So I try to start my day with Bible study and some good worship music and getting my mind in the right state and prayer. And as my wife reminded us, don't forget that if you have a funny of the week, and we try to do a laugh of the week every Friday, and so far we have not received any. So if you have a suggestion for the laugh of the week, and no, it can't be Brad, but if you have another example of a laugh of the week, make sure you send those to us at joshuabusby81@gmail.com. And we'll be sure to look at those and consider those for the laugh of the week. But that does it with me talking so much. Let's see what's good today.
Brad just went, darn.
So, yeah, Brad said, darn. We're going to bring our guest up in just a minute to introduce him briefly, and then we'll hide him. But before we say something good, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and see what he looks like today. Hey, she did. Hey, Brad, what is up?
I'm watching you.
Hey, Brad, we're live. Brad.
Oh,
Brad,
I was watching you. I was watching you.
Brad, you're live.
Hey, wow. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Brad, we are live now. Shh.
Shh. Oh, we're live, so be quiet. I like that.
Yes, we're live, so be quiet. Oh, I'm glad you got the underwear off your head. That's better. I was kind of wondering there for a minute. I'm sorry. That was bad.
Hey, save that one for Friday.
Yeah. What is that? I thought today's Friday.
It depends on what life you're living, but yes, today is Friday.
Well, according to the soap opera, you only have one life to live, Brad.
I thought it was two, but that's just me.
But these are the days of our lives, though. I mean,
I'm not a soap opera guy. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry. You must like opera, the family opera.
Oh, absolutely.
Give us your best Phantom impression. Come on, you got something. The Phantom of the Operas.
No, that's it right there.
Hey, I know that's Popeye or something.
Popeye?
Oh, that's right, Oliver.
Man.
Oh, yeah, I was talking my language.
Oh, that's right, Oliver. Oh. Oh.
Well, it's a preview of our guest for today, but I can't give you too much of him because, he looks way better than I do, so I'm going to hide him. You're making me look bad, Brad. I'm going to have to hide you. But hey, this is the way God created me. So, anyways. All right, let's see. That's going to be our guest in just a few minutes. So you're in for a treat with him, a big treat. But go ahead and tell us something good. What's going on in your life today, guys? I want to hear from you. You know, y'all hear from me enough, but let's see what you guys say.
Oh.
I think my wife would like to say something.
No, you just told me to bring the end of the thing when we go to something good. So,
well, what's up this morning?
my PPE stuff is supposed to be here today, and I got Reese's, and I'm gonna go see my dad as long as everything arrives tomorrow. So I'm very, 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 very happy.
Yeah, so some good news. Her dad is at home now, and he's got a long way a road ahead of him and the family. So be in prayer for them, and we'll pray at the end of the live stream. So if you got prayer requests, save those. We're gonna pray for you guys at the end of the live stream. So he is home, so that's a good thing. So family can start to visit him and be with him. So that's it's a bittersweet thing, but
yeah, I'm a daddy's girl, so every time I get to go out and see my daddy, I'm always excited. You can ask Josh. I get so excited I don't want to leave.
Yeah, see that, and I'm not gonna complain anymore because you used to go and she would stay like for hours and hours and hours. And like, can we go home now? And her dad's always like, you can stay a little bit longer. So, you know, I just want to encourage you. You know, maybe if you go visit family, it may seem like that, but you never know. You know, we only get so many of those moments with your family. So, and with COVID-19, it's so difficult nowadays. So treasure those times, you know. All right, let's see what any comments we got down there in the text.
I ain't got none yet.
You guys are awful quiet today. That's kind of strange.
That's something good.
So, oh yeah, let me let Daniel talk. I got to back up so we can see Daniel. Christina.
Here, I got it.
There you go. What you got, Dan?
I won my first game of Trivial Pursuit with the adult cards.
Yeah, she won last night, but we robbed Christina.
Yes.
I'm not gonna.
I am so mad about this because they said, "Wait, guys, you know I stink at this game. I stink at it." And these two ganged up on me, kept me from getting my little wedges. They kept taking my wedges away, and then when I finally get it all filled and I get to the middle, they go, "Let's ask for pink." And I go to get the card out and start reading the question. And then they go, no, let's go to yellow. And I knew the answer to the pink one. I would have won.
No, that's your story. I got a different story.
No, y'all robbed.
What happened was.
What had happened was, go ahead, Dan.
I was thinking he wanted pink and I wanted yellow. So I'm like, she might not know yellow. So I said, okay, we're going to pick the no. No. Yellow.
As I'm pulling out the card to read it. What movie production has the roaring lion as their logo?
And what would be the answer?
MGM Studios.
I think Brad's reading the newspaper. I wonder what he's reading. Let me see.
No, I think he's reading.
Let's see what he's reading. Hey, Brad, what you reading there? Reading the newspaper?
Oh, hi. No, I was just looking at my mail. That's all. I had, stuff that needed some dealing. While you're talking, I'm just, doing business. I'm not trying to waste a moment here.
Hey, man, I just told you to value every moment. So that's great. You're applying it already.
Metro Golden Mayor. I had the answer.
Yeah. hey, I'd like to play Trivia Pursuit with you, but I'd probably lose. Do you like trivia games?
Do I like what?
Trivia games.
I think they're very trivial, but I mean, I have no problem with them.
Sometimes it's good to play with the trivial thing,
We've been watching Jeopardy lately, and that's kind of a trivia game. So, my wife thinks I'm smart.
Oh well, that's good. That's good. Our wife.
They're repeats, so I've seen the show already, so I have all the answers memorized.
Well, see, that's what happens with us. Josh has got all these answers memorized. And he's always winning and beating us, and it drives me insane.
My son's like, how'd you get so smart? I'm like, I'm just born that way.
Yeah, cheater. I'm born
I'm very
cheater.
good at memorization. That's how I did well in college. On my test, I'd memorize it. So. Anyways, don't tell my professors. I hope they're not watching this.
No, that's why I do improv, because I could never memorize anything.
That's good with improv. You don't have to memorize anything. You just go with it.
No. Yep.
I'll tell you this.
Well, I can't see you, Daniel.
This dude.
It's
does
me,
every
Josh. It's nothing to worry about.
Every single question in that game. And it's the luck of the cards that he does not remember an answer. And I'm like, okay, if he doesn't know this answer, I'll give him another one of this. And then he gets the answer right.
He got a bunch of cards that he did not know last night. The questions he just did not know.
Joyce Coach says hello.
Hey, that's Ian's grandma, I think.
Yeah, well, good to see you this morning, Joyce.
Yeah,
Hope
that's
you're doing
Ian's
good.
grandma, Daniel.
Brian says y'all are seeing the real Brad. Is there a fake one, Brad? I guess there's an imitation Brad, a knockoff Brad. But anyways, that's funny.
I have something else that's good. My foot is swelling's going down. I still can't bend it a certain way, but I can go flat-footed, but I still can't put all my weight on it. So it's better.
All right, we got 7 of you guys here. So if you guys were here, say something. Let us know you're here. Throw something at Brad. He'll enjoy it. And I'll bring him back up. Uh-oh, he's shaking his pen. Uh-oh. Brad, put that down. Put it down. Put it down. A chainsaw? Where'd you get that? Oh, okay. Put it down. Okay. He's gonna put it down.
Like doing something weird. I can't even do that.
Namaste.
What
Okay, all right. Put y'all away. Bye. This is the Josh Busby Show. Y'all are fired. Get out of here. All right, guys. Well, it's good to see everybody here this morning. We got a special guest, and we're going to bring him up. And I'm sorry, guys. I apologize in advance for what's going to take place in the next few minutes. So do not do this on television. And if you had young children, you might want to escort them out of the room. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. So let's bring Brad up in a more serious, silly way. So go ahead and bring Brad up for us. All right. Yeah, what? There you go. That was a good transition.
Hey, nice to be back.
What were you doing with the chainsaw?
Nope, I'm sorry. I was beaming in.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw you with the chainsaw, but I didn't know what I was seeing. Could you tell
Juggling.
me what?
Juggling.
Oh, yeah. That was good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, that'd be a bad paper cut, though, Brad.
Well, you'd have to watch it on pay-per-view, so what can I say?
Who would pay for that, though? I mean, yeah, anyway, someone already saw it. So, anyways. Hey, so, Brad, what's up with you? What's your story, man? Where are you from? What's up with you?
Oh, we're going to jump into it, huh?
Yeah, we're going
to
get into. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to say this. I know a lot of people thought that Brad Newton, the bodybuilder, was going to be with us today. Yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint, guys, but here's the Brad Newton, the other guy.
What makes you think I'm not a bodybuilder? What's up with that?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. You're swollen.
Yep. I get it. It's too many peanut butter cups is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the what is it, the COVID 10 or is it now the COVID 50 pounds? I'm not sure.
I'm going up the ladder. I started at 45 and I'm up to 50 now.
Good. Yeah.
Is that LMBO? What is that? Is that laugh my butt off? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Laugh my butt off. Okay, good. I'm glad we got Danielle on board.
Yeah, that's my sister. I apologize for everything she's gonna say.
I'm not worried about it. At least she's saying something.
Bad, it runs in the family, man. I'm telling you.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
She's a lot smarter than I am. I'm not too bright, but that's okay.
Oh, the self-deprecation. I tell you.
Yeah. I try to do that on purpose. You know, you tell me that I can't be funny on purpose because people know it. So you can't do that.
Just be yourself. Isn't that what it's all about?
So tell us about you. Well, what makes you tick? What?
Well, God makes me tick, but no, I was born in Chicago, moved to Dallas in 1963, about a month or so before Kennedy was assassinated, believe it or not. A cool story from that is that a few weeks after the assassination, we had two FBI agents knock on our door. And it was pretty cool. And they had the black, just think about, like Men in Black, little skinny black ties and all that. And it was like, yeah, we just had a couple questions for y'all. And they didn't say y'all. It turned out there was some kind of rumor going around the church that we were attending. And they just wanted to check, why did you guys move here from Chicago? Blah, blah, blah. And so my mom thought it was the coolest thing ever. So anyway, so that's a little story about that.
So you continued your life of criminal activity since that day? Is that
of course? Oh yeah, especially
and that landed you in prison, right? So tell us. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy, you are pushing the wrong buttons here. Yeah. Well, no, I never went to prison. That's for sure. But yeah, went to school for a couple years. Had to drop out because if my GPA was an ERA, I'd be leading the league. And then finally figured out what I wanted to do after 5 years of just messing around, and went back to school and became an elementary school teacher. So that I did for 12 years. And then we connected up with improv, and everything is where we're going to probably be headed in the rest of this conversation.
And so you are a man of passion, right? I mean, you've been passionate about so many things, but you said in our pre-conversation, you was talking about having a passion with a purpose. So can you kind of unpack that a little bit for us? What do you mean by that?
Well, whatever God lays on your heart for what your talents and your passions are, you can go off in any direction you want with that. But if it's connected to a purpose, like when I was first starting, let me start that again. Between my two stints in college, working at Sears, I used my day off to go to a daycare center in South Dallas and start working with kids. And then I said, this is something I would love to do, is teach. And so the passion for teaching and for kids then became the purpose that drove me back to college and then onward to working in Carrollton Farmers Branch. So, and then from there, with the improv, again, the teaching aspect, forming KidProv in 1991, going into schools using improv as a teaching tool. So at first I was not a performer. I was the MC that would pull the improv. We had incredible improvisers that loved kids. That's what their passion, their purpose. And we had a team of people that really had that single focus.
So you're saying your purpose can't be to make a lot of money or to be famous. And some people do have that purpose, and you said that's self, passion without purpose is self, is what you said.
It definitely is. I mean, it is truly about, you just pursue your passions. But if it doesn't affect other people, if it doesn't make a difference, then why are you doing it other than to scratch your own itch? It's you see a lot of that, and especially right now. I mean, it's politics is, what else? Athletes, a lot of athletes that's what they're all about, is themselves. And so, if everybody, found their passion and just what really stirs their heart, and then look for where that can make a difference, and then there's your purpose.
And you said your passion as a kid was baseball. Tell us a little bit about that and how that led to you eventually taking pictures for the Rangers. That's a cool story.
Yeah. Well, I was we had a camera. My dad had cameras around the house. So we would take pictures and just, mess around. We'd make movies and stuff like that. And, I was the photographer for the annual in high school, and then kind of dropped photography. Well, it's interesting because of the 5 years I was in college, I only flunked one course. And of course that was photography. Right. So I'm kind of a learn by doing kind of guy. But when I started teaching in the early 80s, they were at Arlington Stadium, which was 2 stadiums ago, which is bizarre to think.
Whoa.
They had an old timers game, and there were people there, there were players there that they were my heroes, Ernie Banks and Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, those guys. So I went to a small newspaper in Carrollton and I said, hey, I teach in the district, so I've got some good references. If I go out and shoot some pictures and write a little article for you, would you get me out there and press pass? And so I went out there and had that opportunity. And over the next few years, I worked for that newspaper, just a couple times a year or whatever. But as I got out there and got more and more in tune to what I would need as a photographer, started buying more equipment, and then in '85 applied for the job with the Rangers and got it, and worked there from '85 to 2012. So got a couple of World Series, a few All-Star games under my belt. Worked for baseball card companies, which was that's what I collected. I still have all my baseball cards from when I was a kid. So I'm sitting on some pretty interesting stuff. Well, not right now, but
yeah, I was just gonna say you need to be kind of high up. When I was a kid, I collected baseball cards, but I didn't know what I was doing. It's like, okay, this looks cool, and I had some of those.
Yeah, and so that's what was that in the '90s?
Yeah, back in the '90s. That was probably a while after your first experience with baseball. So.
Yeah, just a little bit, but I was shooting for card companies in the late '80s and through the early '90s. So you might have some of my pictures. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, and you also said that you did some spot pictures for the Cowboys and stuff like that. So
yeah. In the photography business, a lot of times it's all about who you know and how you treat people. So the public relations director for the not the public relations, but the director of publications, totally different.
Right. There you go.
I worked with him with the Rangers. He moved to the Cowboys, and so he brought me along. So every year for the last 5 years, except COVID's ruined it this year, shoot portraits for the program of the Cowboys. And it's interesting because you think that you'd have a lot of like mean people, but they're all just the sweetest guys, good guys. But we want to do some really like intense pictures, right? So you got this incredibly like stark dramatic lighting, and I would say, okay, now there's these big 350-pound guys, and I said, all right, let me give me that look. So they'll get there and they'll go, wait a minute, no, just a second. And they would just crack up almost every time. So those are the best pictures.
I've seen some of your pictures of some of the Cowboys. Very great lighting. They're just very, very like alive.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
Pictures. What's your website so people can go look at that later?
bnphoto.com.
bnphoto.com to check that out. There's some really cool pictures of the Cowboys and then the other the Rangers, and if you follow him on Facebook, I'm not sure if he's going to let everybody in on his Facebook.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
Some cool photos on there. So, anyways, I know that's only part of who you are, and that's remarkable. That you're a teacher at heart, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're teaching for what district were you in?
I was in Carrollton Farmers Branch,
and you said that you were doing a specific task that they asked you to do, and that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. They started a program in '85 called the LEAP program, which was they had the regular gifted program, and then they had those kids up here that really their needs had not been met in the regular gifted program.
Right.
So they pulled all those kids to one school, 5th and 6th graders, and about 3 days before school started, they needed one more teacher, and so I got the call and said, "Hey, Brad, I think you'd be interested in working with these 5th and 6th graders. We have no books and we have no curriculum. So talk about improvising." that's where it started. But there's certain decisions that you make in your life that you kind of step off in faith, and that was one of them. And that was one of the best decisions I've made in my life because of what I got to experience and create. The people I met, actually, my late wife started teaching at that school. That's where I met her.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So she just happened to be at that school.
So y'all just like go in the teacher's lounge together and hang out and bring
Actually, no, it was not that at all. It was actually she taught kindergarten. I taught the gifted 6th graders. So there were no 2 curriculums that were farther apart, but there were no 2 classrooms that had the more what's the word I'm looking for? Similar energies.
Yep.
So anyway, it wasn't until that next summer that we connected, but it was God talking the whole time, even though at that point I wasn't a Christian. So I knew something was going on here because it was nothing I did.
Well, what brought you to faith in Christ? I didn't ask you this, but I'd like to know that. That's pretty interesting.
Well, it was my late wife, and just to unpack that for a second, Cecilia, we were married about almost 17 years, and she passed away from a brain hemorrhage. So that was 12 years ago, and I've been remarried. Thank you, God, I got an amazing wife now, Susanna, and so again, God has blessed me twice. But
so
Cecilia,
how much you had to pay your new wife? I had to pay my wife quite a bit to marry me. I don't think you had to pay yours any. I mean, you're just such a great guy to live with, probably.
No, I just take her pictures all the time. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. You got out on that. I had to pay my wife, so that's not.
Hey, it's again passion with a purpose, right?
Yeah.
But Cecilia, it was about 5 or 6 years into our marriage, and she just exhibited who Christ was, and that's just accepting me and just living out Christ. She never forced it on me. She said we did need to go to a church once we got married because we had 2 stepkids in 9 and 11, so they needed a church to go to. So we went to the church I played softball for because that's about as close to church as I got. On the softball field.
At least the Lord gets that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they understood that. So after I gave my life to Christ, it was Easter Sunday in 1997. On my way driving to the Ranger game, I remember the moment. But a few months later, after I understood the world of equally yoked, I said, Cecilia, why did you marry me? Because I wasn't a Christian when we got married. Equally yoked, yada yada. So she looked at me with this kind of look like this, like you were a Christian, you just didn't know it. Talk about faith. Wow, that's powerful stuff. So it was a very slow trek to get there.
And then you said she had a brain hemorrhage. That must have been hard to deal with as a husband.
She was gone in a matter of seconds, and it was because there was no goodbyes, there was no nothing. But that's when God really showed up. And I mean, I cannot tell you the kind of stuff that transpired. I mean, I blogged for a whole year about the different things, and I go back and read it now. I said, I didn't write that. There's no way I could write that.
Right.
And so the Holy Spirit was just flowing through, the pen and paper.
Do you have that blog still that maybe people might want to go read some of that?
It's not up anywhere. No, okay. That was a long time ago, and
right.
I mean, I made a PDF on it, and but I've shared it because I've had 3-4 friends of mine have lost their wives. So that was my purpose. I was put through this
at time
that I could help them go through it, and the blog I gave them a copy of it, and that helped them. So it's those deep valley of the shadow of death kind of things, you know, those
Right.
really, really rough times turn
Right.
out for me to be mountaintop experiences.
Right.
Because the way God just completely enveloped me, and the people around me that came and exhibited what true friendship and love and relationship is all about.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of times when bad things happen, that's when you get knitted close together with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I lost my mom and my dad and my brother, and those were very trying times. But I still remember the people that loved me during that time and put their arms around me and helped me through that. And that I will cherish those moments, even though it was in the valley. They were still beautiful moments that I'll never forget. You know.
Yep.
And meeting your new wife. So tell us about. I don't say new, but your wife now.
Well, we've been married, 5 going on 6 years, and met her at church, and she has 3 daughters that are just amazing. Being a step parent, I mean, I'll never have my own kids at this point,
right?
At my age, but that's okay because I was, born to be a step parent, if you will. But to have those relationships that are not blood. But I was listening to Dennis Prager the other day, and he said, hey, blood really means nothing. It's about the relationship. It's about connectivity. It's about love, and those that can transcend blood.
Absolutely.
And so her 3 daughters are truly amazing, and Susanna is a major blessing in my life. And it's tough to move from the fact that you're a widower and then going through that grieving process, and then the grieving process ended after 5 years or so. But grief can come up every once in a while. I mean, I don't want to get too heavy here, but grieving is a process. Grief is just a moment, and you have memory or something that comes in, and you just, and I'm emotionally incontinent. I cry very easily. So Susanna knows when I'm having a moment, if you will, and she is not threatened by that, which I'm amazed at that.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. How widowers and widows are able to understand that their partner is going to miss their first wife or their first husband, and that is so. I think they have a special grace. You know what I mean, Brad?
Well said. Well said.
Be patient with you because you still love your first wife. You love her dearly.
But absolutely.
The Lord moved you into a new phase in your life. And as a stepdad, my wife's dad is not her real dad.
Okay.
But he is her stepdad. But she loves him just like he was her dad. So we understand, the relationship you have with your daughters, and it's probably very strong. I've seen pictures of you guys. You guys look like a great, happy family. And I know there's probably moments in y'all's lives that.
Oh, of course.
Y'all look great. I mean, y'all look happy, and I'm praising the Lord for that grace that He's given to you. It's just.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's way beyond anything human.
And even I could see that in a picture, Brad. I really saw your family through just a photo. And maybe that's why you take photos, because you're able to capture things that maybe people aren't there to see.
Well, it's about, to me, improv. I'm talking improv now, but photography is about relationships, and there's obviously the relationship of f-stop to ISO to the shutter speed, but there's also the other side, and that is me connecting to you if I'm taking your picture. And there's got to be something there, or else it just has no life to the image.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. You're not there just to take a photo, but you're there to be a person behind the camera as well. And you said on your website that you like to have that relationship with the person that you're photographing, and that
it makes it so much easier.
How do you develop that, in a few seconds,
Yeah, well, we don't develop film anymore. It's all digital. So we don't develop, there's no dark rooms anymore. We use laptops. We use computers now.
Right. But when you're meeting them in a dark alley, I'm just kidding. So when you're meeting them, how do you start the conversation? How does that work? You just like, hey, I'm here to take a picture.
It's conversational. I mean, it truly is. It's making people feel not as uncomfortable, because a lot of people are uncomfortable in front of the camera. So that's where, my improv nature comes in, and personality, where, you just meet the person in the moment, and, you don't force them into anything. And it's almost like, just don't pay attention to me. Like when I'm shooting a wedding, it's like the bride and groom, just pay attention to each other. I'm just taking pictures of what you guys, your relationship. It has nothing to do with me, right? Because I'm just capturing you at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to tell my family to pay attention to me, because I think they take your advice. Don't pay attention to me. I'm not here. Like, where's that, guys? I am here. Wait, no, I'm just being stupid.
Well, so, you're very good at that.
Thank you. Oh,
I like to be encouraging. I like to encourage.
You said that you're here to make me look good. You're not doing that. I'm gonna fire you. You're out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
You're supposed to make me look good, but I know it's a hard thing. There's a lot of material here.
And you're using it all on yourself.
Yeah, I know. Do you notice that? I'm trying not to. So, whose line is it anyways? This is going to segue us into improv. Tell us what the heck improv is anyway.
Well, just to kind of put a history to it.
Spit it out, Brad.
I'm going to. I was looking at where I need to jump in. But when I was teaching, I started going to a place called Comedy Sports, which is competitive improv. And I've always liked improv, going back to the days of Jonathan Richman. Jonathan Richman. No, I meant Jonathan Winters. No, Jonathan Richman's a whole different story of improv. Anyway, so I started using the games that they play in the Comedy Sports, and then started using them in my classroom. Improv is about being in the moment, about taking a suggestion from the audience and then going from there. Now, there's two kinds of improv, and then one's long form and one's short form. And short form is what I've been doing. And they're basically like Whose Line? There are little games or skits or forms, and then the audience gives a suggestion, and they use that form, which we're going to be using one of those here in a little bit, to come up with, a skit, right? When I teach my class about improv, I connect it to our spiritual aspect, the spiritual aspect of Christianity. But the bottom line is that you don't try to be funny, because improv's not about being funny. You said it, it's about making the other person look good, about setting the other person up. Because when you have your ideas and my ideas that we somehow have to make sense of, right? It's connecting, your box and my box, right? We talked about that earlier, about out of the box thinking. I don't think that's a reality. It's out of my box thinking, and that's who you are, And so when we connect our two boxes, all of a sudden I've got your info, you've got mine, and from that we create this magic that happens on stage. And truly,
this live stream idea is set up like that. There's your box on the right side, there's my box on the left side. And then we have the audience, also the boxes of the comments coming through, and we're all able to think outside the box. But I think that, and not trying to get serious again, but in politics or religion or whatever conversation people want to have, I think that they're not willing to look at the other person's box. They just want to stay in their box and not think about, what's Brad got to say that might add to this conversation,
Right. And I think that's where listening is so important, and not having a pre-existing response, rather than being listening to what you're saying and responding in the moment to who you are and what you're saying, rather than, just having something set up that will make me look good, or make my point look good, or make my point of view look good.
Yeah, because the idea is to build a straw man, make them look terrible, so you can just rip them apart and make you look good.
Yeah. Well, some improv is like that. Some people, where it gets competitive nature of, I want to be the funny one, I want to get the laugh. But it's a lot of times, I love it when I'm with the guy I work with, and I have for 30 something years, Sean Sean is the best improv comedian I have ever seen, and I think Brian's still online, and he can give me a thumbs up on that one. But it's so much fun to set him up because he can knock it out of. I mean, he is a designated hitter par excellence. But it's so much fun to set him into that position that he can just knock it out of the park. And that's just as vital as knocking it out of the park.
So, well, we're talking about improv, and we have it set up to where we're going to play a little improv game here. And
Yep.
Brad, what are we going to do?
We're going to play a game called The Professor, and we're going to get Daniel involved in this in this game. So, what position are you going to be in, Dan? You're going to be in that one right there? Okay. Yeah. So I think Christina has come up with some questions, and she's going to ask a question, and we're going to answer it improvisationally, one word at a time. So I'll start, and then I'll say one word, then Daniel say the next, then Josh will say the next, and it'll come back to me. So we'll just round robin it. Now, making sure that you understand that when the question comes in like, why is the sky blue? We got to take that question and turn it into a statement. So I would start and then Daniel, sky, Josh is blue because, and then one word at a time. One word, Josh, one word at a time.
Yeah, I did too.
Which is okay too. I mean, that's the way it goes.
I'm sorry.
So one word at a time.
I like to talk.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that either. Okay.
I'm in the right ministry, man. This is the ministry that the Lord's using me in.
Okay. I see that. Now, is Daniel mic'd up okay? I mean, is he?
He's on the Yeti, so he should be picked up pretty easily.
Okay, say something, Daniel.
Say something.
Daniel's
Okay, yeah, be nice and loud so we know what you're saying, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Well, we're going to start with one of the questions I had. Why is the sky blue?
Okay, I'm sorry. We use that as a demo. Come on. We don't want to. Come on.
Okay.
Let's take it to the next
level. I got
level.
mine on a website. Okay.
No. Stop right now. Get the paper down. Come on. No, don't think about the paper.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Why? What? What do you want to know? Why? What? Right now? Why? Just off the top of your head.
Why is Daniel's hair blonde?
Why is Daniel's hair blonde? Here we go. Daniel, I need you, buddy. I need you. Here we go. You ready? Are you okay?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, so
I'm good.
Daniel's
hair
is
blonde
because
aliens
landed
on
it
and
made
something
wonderful. That's okay. That's the answer. Okay, very good. Very good. All right. Look, it made him laugh. Okay. All right. Christina, you're up again.
The ship has landed.
Why is Homer Simpson yellow?
Okay, you like colors, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Okay. So here we go.
Very
Homer
colorful language.
Simpson
Okay.
Is
Yellow
because
Brad
it's
kept
face
time.
with
Instagram.
Popcorn. I don't know where that is. I mean, what in the world? That sentence fell apart. Didn't it?
That.
That's the one thing about The Professor. It really has to be a real sentence. Because otherwise, it's yellow. Homer Simpson is yellow because Frank underwear night tomorrow, Friday, and guacamole. It just doesn't make any sense.
Do we got another one? Christina, come on.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait.
Okay, stop. All right, this time I'm going to ask a question. I'll start, and Christina, you're going to be in this too. So it'll come to me, then to Christina, then to Daniel, then to Josh, back to me. All right?
Okay,
Okay, got it. Okay.
I keep up.
All right, so here we go. You ready? Why does Saturn have rings? I'm starting off. Saturn
Has
rings
Because
whenever
it
married
the moon, the
moon
it
had
baby
Toilets.
2.
Make
And
2.
Saturn.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Good job. All right.
I could.
I think that's enough of that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, that's enough.
Good job, everybody. Good job. That was excellent.
We tried bad. We need some teaching now.
No, I think that's good. No, and that's the first time you guys have really ever done that. And online is tough.
So,
In my defense, he told me go and find questions, go get questions, come up with questions. So I thought I had to go online and find questions.
No, I was bad about. I'm sorry. We should have just improvised questions on the spot. So.
All right, so you do before the pandemic, you taught some improv classes and stuff like that. So are you gonna do some more of that when things open up or what?
Well, taking a step back, we started KidProv, which is the educational improv troupe in 91. And then in 2001 formed HimProv, which is a Christian improv troupe. And my church in Carrollton, Bent Tree Bible Fellowship, sponsored a monthly show. And this year was going to be our 20th year that we have had monthly shows. And we haven't missed hardly but 1 or 2 shows in those 20 years. Oh, wow. And then 2020 hit. So connected to that is the improv class that I teach, and don't know when that's ever going to happen again. Honestly, we just got to play it out. But I think I mentioned it before. What I love to do is to take the principles of improv, the yes and, which is you say yes to somebody, and then your responsibility is to respond to that person. Connecting to what they said, like I said earlier, but connecting those principles of improv to our walk as Christians. Right. Just a real simple thing is that the yes and becomes the surrender and the serve part. So surrendering is vertical and serving is horizontal, because faith without works is dead. Yeah. So this is a great opportunity for people to practice the yes and, the surrendering to another person's idea, and then serving them, making them look good, as we said before. Right.
So what kind of skills and concepts of improv can we take in the workplace, in our interpersonal relationships at church? How can we apply these things?
Well, I think number 1 on the list is listening. I think if it's that connection, that collaborative approach to things. Right. We talked about the boxes, right? To me, your box, my box, connect. And that's, we're sharing those ideas, we're collaborating. Right. The synergy that happens, what comes out of just the two of us is much more than we could come out by ourselves, come up with by ourselves. So I think listening, collaboration, communication, it really goes just in just the humanity of improv, if you will.
Right. I agree, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but God brought a scripture to my mind. In Ecclesiastes, it talks about 2 is better than 1, so that kind of plays into that what you just said. That's biblical thinking there. And
yeah, it is, and it's some of the people that have taken my class have really come out of their shells. They never thought they had any important ideas, and back when we did the professor. We said, why does Saturn have rings? Saturn has rings because, and the word the and of and a are not the funny words. No. But as I said about Sean, they set up the next person. And without those connecting words, the sentence makes no sense at all.
And that kind of helps you with collaboration. If you're at work on a project, you can collaborate better. And I also brought this out on Sunday when we talked that maybe you'll be more comfortable with sharing your idea because you went through improv and you realize you have valuable input, whether it's the but, and, or to, or whatever. You're adding to the project, and the project's going to come to a conclusion. And
again, better than you thought.
Yeah. And not afraid to step out, with what I do, live stream, man, every live stream I have, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And if I'm worried about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do and what everybody's going to think about it, it's going to be a terrible live stream where I'm not going to get enough sleep the night before. But lately, I really just relaxed a little bit. And to be honest with you, Brad, every guest that I have on the Morning Motivation, they teach me something.
Right.
And already the relationship that you and I have, we're starting to build it. And I really hope that we can build it some more. I really like talking to you. You're a cool guy. You're insightful.
Thank you.
But I'm serious. I am too serious. My family says I'm funny, but I'm not funny on purpose. It just happens. But I'm
yeah. And that's the best kind of funny.
And you taught me just in the little bit of time that I've had with you, you know, that don't worry so much. You know, just go with it, and the Lord will you know, fill in the blanks. And if not, then, you know, just keep doing it. That's kind of what you taught me so far, you know.
And it's like I've said a few times, being in the moment. And to me, being in the moment is what heaven's going to look like. Because, you know, when you and I start thinking about heaven and about eternity, and it's like, okay, I'm going to be bored within 15 minutes, I'm going to be bored. Because you're looking ahead, and that's going to create the anxiety or the frustration. But if we're in the moment, because we're going to be in the presence of God, we're in the moment, we're just totally focused on now, then time goes away. There's an author, Csikszentmihalyi. I know it's a weird name, but he came up with the idea of flow. And flow is that moment that and it could be anywhere. It could be mowing the lawn or doing improv, that you are totally so focused in the moment that time just becomes nothing. And, you know, in our improv shows, it's like, it's over already. I mean, we're so focused, and then it's like an hour later, hour and a half later, it's like, what happened? You know, it just, so I'm not scared of heaven and and eternity because of the way I've thought through that.
Brian has said, let's bring in some comments from you guys. Let's bring you guys into the conversation a little bit. So if you have something you want to add, a question that you want to ask Brad, I'm sure he will not have an answer, but he will improv it for you.
I will make it up. Well, I see that Brian said he came out of his shell during the class. Brian and his wife Shelly took my classes a few times. Shelly doesn't have a shell, which is funny because her name is Shelly. That doesn't make. She is so out of her shell all the time.
I love it. I love it.
But Brian, he struggled at first because he was thinking too much about what he was going to say or how he would look. And, you know, when you're stuck inside your head, then you're not going to go anywhere because you're thinking about yourself rather than the other person. And so he came along, and, you know, then after a couple classes where he just let his guard down, if you will, he did great stuff. In fact, he completely fooled himself. He surprised himself, because something would happen and he would be like, whoa, did that really, you know, did that come out of me? And it's like, you got it.
That's awesome. It gives confidence, you know, and
absolutely
value to what you had to say. And that's good, man. I can sit here and talk to you all day, and that's a good thing. I know you probably got things to do, but let's see if anybody else. You have anything else you want to say to Brad before he goes away? You know that.
My AirPods, these are starting to die, so I'm gonna have to change over to the regular speaker here. So I know that might not be optimal, but I need to do that.
All right, guys, we'll transition into some prayer requests, and then we'll bring Brad back up in just a second. So you got prayer requests down there. Go ahead and type them in the text there.
Had me in it for a reason.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know. So go ahead and put your prayer request in down there, guys, if you got something that you need us to pray about. And then we're going to bring Brad back up away for now.
We made it to a new month.
Yeah, it's July. I cannot believe it. It's and the 4th of July is what, Sunday, you said? Or
Saturday.
Saturday, excuse me.
The 4th is Saturday because the 5th is my parents' anniversary and it's on Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
See, Brad, I'd be lost without her. Any other play requests? I got some coming in right now.
That is why I have me on the camera so I can read. Okay, Jenny's friend. Brian is traveling. Oof. Be careful, Brian, when you come back.
And Jenny Williams, her friend.
Yeah, I got hers.
Yeah, and Jenny, we sent off a card over to you to save for her when you see her. So
it has a sticker on the back that says "Thinking of you" or flowers. I think it's a "Thinking of you." So
yeah, so that's for her. So whenever you see her, you can get that to her, and I know it'll be the right time when she needs it the most. So. Any other prayer requests? And if you're not watching this live and you're watching the rerun, you can always send your prayer request in the text. Just put them down there. If you got something private that you want to talk about, you can message me or email me at JoshuaBusby81. And if you got a prayer request that's private, just say, do not share this publicly. And we will pray for you privately and keep that there.
the email is joshuabusby81@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. You just assume people know it's Gmail because Google owns everything, don't they?
Well, there's Yahoo, there's Gmail, there's Hotmail, there's Outlook, there's GarlandISD.net. There's all kinds of
And
blah, blah, blah.
any other prayer requests down there? You guys?
Good. Brian says he's definitely gonna be careful.
All right, and pray for Christina's dad that he's not home, and just pray that God would work in the situation in the way that is His will for that situation. You know, our desire is that God would heal Ronnie and get him up and back to his self. That we're just gonna commit that to the Lord, and the Lord will be in that situation.
My husband asked him when he talked to him, he was just getting his voice back because he's been fighting pneumonia as well as the blood clots and all the other stuff that he's got going on. And Josh asked him, what word of advice would you give me if I was in this situation? And my dad evidently thought he was asking, what do you want to say to me? What do you want to say to me now? And the only thing he could tell my husband is to take care of my baby girl.
Yeah.
So, and that got me because that's my dad, and that's all he is worried about is his wife and kids. So,
and some people just joined in. So if you got a prayer request, go ahead and type it in the text down there. And our guest Brad's going to come up in just a second and pray for your need. So you just joined with us. You can
give him about 30 seconds. There's a 30-second delay.
Yeah, that's the beauty of live stream. You got to wait 30 seconds. That doesn't work very good for improv either, does it, Brad?
No, it doesn't.
It gives you too much time to think.
See. Let's see. There it is. Listen.
All right, looks like that's all the requests.
Okay, it's just Danielle, Brian, and Jenny with me. So.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna bring Brad up again. We put him away. Playtime was over. Now we're gonna get the coming thingy back up.
Pray for Danielle.
Yeah, my sister said pray for her. We will. Brad, she does home health for senior citizens, and some of them are at their end of life, so she's had to go through several patients passing away. So pray for my sister Danielle as she does that. I call it ministry. You know, it's not a job to her. It's a ministry. So pray for her as she's ministering to our patients and COVID-19 as they're dealing with cancer and strokes and all kinds of things. So But with that being said, I'll bring Brad on.
Am I here? Where are you? Oh, where'd you go? I can't hear you.
I was hiding. Usually I just bring one camera.
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, I'm new to this program because I
forget. I'll be more specific.
Okay, be specific. Go.
Yeah. So we're gonna let you go ahead and pray for us, and then we'll come back up.
Got it. Thank you. Heavenly Father, thank you for Josh and Christina and Daniel. Thanks for just what you laid on their hearts to do this incredibly fun, informative, and encouraging ministry. I pray for a larger audience. I know it's not about the amount of audience, Lord. It's about the individual that's being affected. But Lord, I'm saying this is such a great idea and it's such a great encouragement. I pray for this to expand. I lift up Brian and Shelley and their travels. This is a tough time to travel, Lord, and I just pray for their safety and that they have a great time with their family. Pray for Jenny's friend in the hospital, that she comes back healthy and that there are no complications in coming back. And of course, Danielle is on the front lines, Lord, and I just protect her heart, protect her soul, protect her spirit from just having to be around some really, really tough people, tough situations. And Lord, I pray that she stays safe and that you keep her from contracting anything bad so she can be out there on the front lines doing what needs to be done. Lord, this is a crazy time, and I know that you've got your finger on the pulse of what's going on, and it's hard not to pray for peace, knowing your will is what it is, but we all pray for peace and for people just to listen, to communicate, to stay in the moment and really focus on what the other person, the other group is saying, so they can respond appropriately and with grace and with mercy and with kindness. And we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. With the three amigos here.
There we are.
Yeah, so it was great. Thank you for the prayer, man. That's one of our most coveted things that people come to the One Letters for. They love to have their request heard and prayed over. So thank you, Brad. That's very
important to what we
hear. And I really enjoyed our time with you, Brad.
Absolutely.
I mean that.
Yeah, and I do too. And you know what? We barely touched the surface, you know?
No, there's so much. And I tell all my guests that I reserve the right to recall this witness. So, Brad, I reserve the right to recall you as a witness in this ministry. But I do appreciate you coming, and I hope that you and I can build a relationship beyond this live stream. You have a lot of value to add to people's lives, and I thank you for that.
Appreciate it.
As Paul would say, I thank the Lord on every remembrance of you. So that good remembrance of you.
Thank you.
With that being said, Brad, do you have any parting words that you'd like to leave us with this morning before we go?
I think that that staying in the moment is, and especially right now, of looking for the gifts that are out there. It's tough to see everything that is going on as just a shutdown or a pause or whatever, but there's something that God's doing in all this, and for each of us is probably something a little different. And so I just say, stay in the moment and look for the gifts. Wake up to the gifts that are there.
Amen. And have a purpose behind your passion.
Absolutely. And
guys, we'll see you guys on Friday. Until then, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may He make His face shine on you. But don't forget,
make your face shine on somebody today,
because they need it, and it'll do your heart good to smile. So,
okay.
See you guys.
Bye.
Keep that.